Hi, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon, Angela. How are you
Hi.
doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good.
Is it good afternoon where the
Yeah,
place you are? Okay,
yes.
okay, okay.
So, I'm doing well with exercise 3,
Mm-hmm.
except for the ANOVA.
Okay.
Okay.
And you are using Excel,
I'm
correct?
using Excel.
Okay.
So, let me see. What can I do?
Did
Okay.
you look at the file, look at the video I posted in the
I
class?
did look at the video,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm working through it. Why? Okay, can you see my screen?
Okay, I see.
Okay. Okay. So I guess I have to I complete the you did that
Mm-hmm.
minus that or that. You just
Did I posted the exercise, right? Did I posted the Excel file? I believe I did, right? Are you working with your Excel file or the Excel file I posted in the class?
what on how it's the step by step?
No, no, the Excel file, because I believe I posted the Excel file including all the formula, did I?
No, not that I
Oh,
know
I did
of.
not. Okay, so then go with your option because I believe I was thinking I posted that.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess my question is,
Mm-hmm.
do I have to find these totals for all of the columns?
Can you click on the AB column? Yes, the same. No, the second line. The last, actually, the last three. Yeah, that's it. You said, okay, this is B minus on cover of 2 on yes. And click, would you please click on the formula section? I need to see that. Yeah, okay. This minus this one on power of 2, yes. You should go ahead and compute the same for AC, AD, and AE.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
then that's how I would find that.
And okay, you should compute the means, right? Using the average if.
Okay. Um, so I guess what my question is, after I go through the steps of all of these, I have to
Mm.
compute that for each column.
You know, this is the for the ANOVA, this is the way you should compute 4 means, 3 means for the each market, high market, moderate, and low market,
Hmm.
and 1 mean for the total. And then after that, you need to use the square of you need to okay, you need to compute the subtraction between the means of this population and the mean of the each sample, and on power of 2 for column A, B, and AC, and then compute SST for the total and SST for the weighting group, and subtract SST minus SSV, you get SSB. And after that, you can compute MSB at that column 305550 and MSW by dividing SSW to the SST. Look at the formula and then compute F. When you have compute F, you can compute P. I believe I have a file. I need to share this file with you. Let me
Okay.
share my Excel file with you. You follow that, so you don't need to just go ahead and compute all the this formula.
Oh,
So yeah, I think I was thinking I already posted in the class,
yeah, no, I
but
didn't
you
see
are
it.
telling I did not post that.
Um,
Okay.
so let's say I find all of these numbers for each column well, let me see. For each column,
Mhm.
I would have to find, all of those numbers.
For each columns, did you, okay,
Let me see.
as long as you are looking at that, I'm trying to find my file here. ANOVA class, ANOVA solution. Okay, I think it should be here.
Like that was just for the hospital beds. Then I have to do all the numbers for all of these?
Yes. Okay. You know, it's a lot of work with Excel, I understand. Because basically, you know, the other option is the same, because you should mean function, count function, actually count if function, average if function, and the standard deviation function, right? You should have that.
Right.
And all this shit, ANOVA shit, is just for computing the ANOVA. So the way I just suggest you is just don't write ANOVA for each variable. Write it one time and then change the column. Column B. Column B now for first of column B, the first column B should be for the hospital bed. Instead of computing the ANOVA for each of them, you can each time change the column B. For example, computing the hospital bed and then go back, compute the non-paid.
Right.
And it's because it's only one time writing the formula. And I don't need to just go ahead and do it 10 times for each of them.
Okay.
Yes. That's the way I explained in
the video.
The other option is you can go with that's a lot of work. You could do that with changing the data to the wide data, because the current data is a long data set.
Right.
Because basically Excel use the wide data for computing ANOVA. If you want to go with the formula of ANOVA in the ANOVA Excel.
Okay.
And
so you're saying I only have to really compute all of these once, and then I can just go back and change the variable up here.
Change the column B. The column B here, the column B, look at the column B. No, the column B is the first column is a hospital bed, correct?
Well, yeah, F.
Yeah, column F. So change column F every time. So you can change, instead of changing the formula, change the data. It's much easier to go.
But I have to compute all of these first. And then which one would I be changing?
First, you need to compute for one variable first. Let's go with the hospital bed, and then after that you can compute for the other variables. After that you can change the variable name, and then it's going to be okay. And not the variable name, the variable date actually. For example, if you go to the first section, hospital, the first sheet, please look at that.
This?
No, the first sheet. Here. Scroll up to see the data.
It's a lot.
Yeah, go up, go to the very beginning of the file. You can press Control Home and it should be in the first line. Okay. You know, for now, you are computing the hospital beds. So if you want to go with, for example, with the, go to the very end to find the non-paid hospital. For example, any of this, let's say hospital discharge, total hospital discharge. Copy this column, copy. Go back to the ANOVA. Paste in column F.
Here?
Yes. Paste here. Okay. This is my suggestion. You write one time the ANOVA and then change the data. So you don't need to compute the ANOVA for each time. So it's much easier to go, because computing the ANOVA needs a lot of it. You know, you need to compute at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 variables each time. So I don't need to do that. So I'm gonna share with you. Angela, send me an email after the live session, so I will not forget to send it to you. I will send you an ANOVA table in Excel, but please take a look to make sure you are following that, because you need that for the final exam.
So once I find my first data, when I paste the new information into here, it will just change all of these? It will change automatically all of them, and you just need to look at the p-value and f-value and report that on the table. Well, but it's asking for ANOVA. Yeah, of course, and the ANOVA is just for the p-value. Look at the table. The table asks a p-value.
because you compute the F value in the ANOVA and then compute the F, P, because for any test you can compute the P.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I also had one more question about this, the hospital net benefit. That's not one of any of these columns.
The hospital net benefit, I believe I explained in the video. For the hospital net benefit, you need to you need to subtract the hospital cost from the hospital revenue.
Okay. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, class, we started unofficially with Angela question. Okay, then we can start officially now. We have 7 minutes for introduction. If you have any question before I start, no technical question, any general question, I will write a question. I will answer that after reviewing the individual assignment 2. That assignment was about 50% of your grade, and I believe this is very important to look at that first. Okay, we have 7 minutes if you want to introduce yourself, and then I have Felicia here, Andrea, Janelle. Hello, Dr. Azadi.
How are you? Fine, thank you.
Okay, and that's it. We have, okay, that's great. I have Andrea, okay. If you'd like to introduce yourself, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm gonna start officially the meeting. Okay. Andrea, you are muted. Dr. Azadi, you are muted. All of you are muted. So I'm gonna go and start a meeting. I'm gonna share my screen with exercise 2. Okay.
This exercise 3, is that exercise 3?
I wanna say individual assignment 2. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, I might say individual assignment 2.
And Dr. Are you recording this session? Because
that was a good question because I did not. So let me. Yeah, I believe it's recording. Yes, yes, it's recording. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Question, Dr. Zara, are you going to explain some Excel files? Because some of the students that have questions about Excel.
I will do. Yes, sure, welcome. Okay, I look at actually the topic submitted for my class, and based on the topic submitted to my class, there is 3 main data sets that students chosen to use. Medicare national data by county, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more than 50 students selected those topics. Minnesota admission, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students have decided to work with the length of stay between acute and non-acute care hospital, and one of them selected to use comparing total hospital billing acute care between CAH and non-CAH. And there is 3 topic on comparing the number of MRI and PET or CT procedure, or number of MRI between clinic and hospital. So I'm gonna review one example for the Medicare national data by county. My expectation is if you are already chosen to use, if the RStudio has been chosen to use for the individual assignment 1, by now you should know about the how to read the data and how to just modify the code. But if for any reason you have decided to switch from Excel to RStudio or from RStudio to Excel, I'm not recommending that, but if you have decided. So I'm gonna explain from the first step. Let me go with, okay, most of with the Medicare national data by county. And first of all, I need to give more clear picture for you to see. Give 125. Someone confirm that if you can see my screen on RStudio. All of you are muted. Can someone confirm that? No one? Okay, I assume you can see that. Andrew, do you want to confirm?
What are you asking, sir?
Yes. Okay, you can see that. Okay. Okay, let me mute you. Okay, mute yourself, please. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is Medicare National Data by County. First thing first, you need to read the data with this line. And for this assignments, you don't need to use a deep-learn package. So if computer has any problem with deep-learn package, you are not be worried about that. You don't need to be worried about that because you don't need to install that deep-learn package. Okay, reading the data sets, Medicare National Data by County. This is the data. In my class, the data set is in the announcement page or in the instruction of the class. This data set has, I said data has 3,143 observation, and then you need to look at the name of data set. I need all of the students who have been selected using the comparing average annual of Medicare beneficiary, either between the states or between black and white. Pay attention carefully to this section. If you go with the number of beneficiaries, you will see huge outliers, and then you are not able to get any, you can get any result. But for example, if you want to compare, for example, 1 million with 1,000, for sure, there is a significant differences. So there's nothing to do with that. For that reason, for all of you that have decided to work on comparing number of beneficiaries or average annual beneficiaries between state 1 or 2 or between black and white. So please make sure to use this codes. And first thing first, generate percent of beneficiary for black or white. Even if you have decided to work with the different states, you need to do that here first. Okay, this code, I'm just looking at that, is comparing beneficiary between black and white. The topic is compare percent of, this is not percent of ambulatory, this is a percent of beneficiaries, right? Beneficiaries between black and white. Black and white. So, as you know, everything that has a pound sign is muted is just a node. So RStudio will not consider that, but so if you're looking at video, so you need to know that. I need to generate a percentage here. To generate a percentage, I need to add a new variable. The new variable should be number of beneficiary black divided by total number of beneficiary multiply 100. So I can get a percentage here. The same for white, and then number of beneficiary of white divided by number of beneficiary black overall multiplied to 100. And then, okay, this is the data. If I look at this, if I run this section, these are all the variables, right? I generate these two variables. And then if I see the name of if I see the data sets, you see these two variables added here. Beneficiary black, beneficiary white. Now I need to look at the mean function, mean data, $, name of variable, and you should control by the number of missing, but none actually na.remove equal to true. That means if there is no missing, remove the missing and then report the mean. Okay, and this is the mean for the black. This is the mean for white. This is standard deviation. This is the observation. Okay, and this is a t-test. t-test is a comment, data, percent of black, percent of white, and then this is t-test. Sorry, this is a t-test. And okay, this is a box plot to compare them. Okay, this is the correct, this is the title is correct. But if you have decided to use a different topic or anything else, you can just fix the topic. Anything between this quotation mark can be changed without interrupting the program. Okay, this is, let me move this. Okay, this is, you see, this is really high, huge differences. The white population is really higher than black. And then for this section, you just need to change the name of this variable. I already changed that, but if you decided to work with any other data sets, any other variable, you just need to change that, and you need to select entire code one time and then run this. Okay, if you look at this, this is black, this is white. To have a better picture, I prefer to use this instead of left. I'm gonna go to top center. Probably it's worked here if I say top center. Let's see if it's working or no. Oh, it's removed. Top left, top right. Okay, let's me back. Top right. There's no difference top left and right. It's gonna change. Okay, better, probably better. This is all you need for individual assignment if you are using a Medicare National Data by County. Specifically, this is for, okay, let me look at the list. Okay, having hemoglobin, mammogram, eye exam, having blood lipid. Okay, so none of you decided to choose exactly the same option. Yeah, there are two students here, Daniel Warren, Trenton Williams. Both of you, Trenton, you decided to work on the Florida and Georgia, but for the Florida and Georgia, you just need to, after generating those variables, you should go with, okay, you are not able to generate the percentage of overall for Florida and Georgia. My suggestion to you is preferably use black and white. If you are listening to this video, you can send me an email also. Okay, this is for if you are working with overall data, entire data sets. If you are working with two different states, then let me go ahead with another example to show how to generate two states. I believe I have one of them here. Okay, here. Okay, that was one first example. This is the second example. In this example, I'm going to compare the mammogram, percent of mammogram between two states. Any questions so far? We can spend a few minutes for the answering to the question. If you have any question for the previous codes.
Yes, Professor, I entered maybe about 10 minutes later, and I wanted to know, where do you find those codes? Like, I see what, you said needed to change. Where do you initially find those codes? Because that's the issue that I was running into with individual assignment 1.
The master code is available in the class. Are you in my class? The class or in my class, John? Jen?
Yes, I'm in.
You are muted. Sorry, you are muted. Jen, you are muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm in your class.
Jen, okay, if you go to the discussion panel and the discussion, you can go to the class instruction and you will find an example of the code. You will not find exactly the same code I'm using here, but I'm gonna share exactly all the codes I'm I'm reviewing at this live session with all the students in the class. So basically you can use exactly the same code I'm using now and follow the live session. So it's gonna helpful more to just look at exactly the same line number. I'm gonna share the RStudio codes. I will paste in the class. You will have exactly the same code I'm having. I'm working on them here.
Okay.
Okay, so that was the first example. If you are working with black and white, most of the students, yes, of course, most of you. Okay, Daniel, Moran, Andrea, Jen. Okay, most of you. You have decided to work with two data sets, two estates using the Medicare National Data by County. Even I believe I reviewed with Dr. Azari, a few of the students in Dr. Azari class also have decided to work with two different states. The data set is the same data sets. So I'm going to run the data again. In this code, I'm going to review the mammogram between two states. For now, I'm comparing the Virginia and Maryland. But you have a different topic, but so that's fine. I will review this code and let you know how do you change the name of states if you have these codes. For sure you will have this code. So first thing first, I'm gonna run this code. This code generate this line, generate MND data set. You can call this anything you like, right? So, but if you have decided, for example, to use the data for the first individual assignment, so my recommendation to you is don't use that, use a different name, because the RStudio keep everything on the memory, and then you may run every code with a wrong data. Your code is correct, but data set is incorrect. So make sure to use different label for the name of data. So for example, I'm using MND here. First thing first, this is exactly the same data set I read previously, but I'm changing that. This is the same data, 3,143. If I look at this, I see the same variable here, right? So for having two data sets, one of you, please mute your computer because I'm echoing myself. Okay, I'm gonna mute this. For comparing two states, you need to subset the data for each state you want to use. And to do that, you can use this command, table, name of data set, now MND $, right? And the state here. If you run this code, you see the name of states in data sets. For example, now I'm comparing the Virginia and Maryland, so I need to follow the subset command. The subset command I call this Virginia and subset this data sets, and look at the Virginia only and select only mammogram overall and the state's name. So this data set generates this one. Look at this here, Virginia, 134 observation. Look at the Virginia here. Where is that? VA here, 134. Let's see. If you see the same number here, you're following this code correctly. The same for Maryland. So what's the number for Maryland? A very important point here is if your data set is less than 30 observation, you are technically you cannot run t-test, because the t-test is a kind of you need more than 30 observation, otherwise it's a parametric test. For non-parametric tests, Mann-Whistler test is a non-parametric test. We are not teaching in this class, but make sure to use a data set with more than 30 observation. For example, I'm gonna change that Maryland to, for example, Kansas. I'm going to change it to Kansas. You don't need to change the Maryland to anything else. You can just change this too. even if you are for example, I'm working with Kansas, I'm not changing the Maryland to Kansas. I'm just calling the Kansas Maryland here. But if you like to stay with that, you can change this as a KS. If you look at this, you can this one here, right? This is the Kansas data. Now, the Kansas data is here, Virginia, I have Virginia here, I have Maryland, I just call the Kansas Maryland, I have a Kansas 104, 104, all of them are the same. I call this Maryland because I don't like to change any other codes here. So you can do the same thing. If you are, for example, working with hemoglobin H1C, A1C, you can just change the data set here and keep everything the same as it is and the name of variable. So now I'm going to show you Virginia is the same states. Let me run again. I'm going to call Kansas, Kansas here to show you how it worked. And this is here, Kansas. And then this is the second part. The mean is for Virginia. And this is the mean for Kansas. I need to change this to the Kansas. Let's see, let's change it to the MD. Let's see even if you see this one, see, this is the same. If I change it to MD, the same result, right? 61.20, 61.20. So, but just for now to show you, I'm just changing to this, to Kansas. Okay, all the Maryland should be Kansas. You can change all of them one time or just do it step by step. I need to change where Virginia is correct, and this is Kansas. Virginia, Kansas. Virginia, it should be Kansas here. And here, Virginia and Kansas here. This is all the place. Also, my code is comparing mammogram overall between two states. So now I have a mean function. This is the mean, Virginia, Kansas. I have a standard deviation function. I have these two standard deviation. I need a my table function, and this is observation. Then the t-test. The t-test is 0.0174. It's less than 0.05. So there is a significant differences between Maryland, between Kansas and Virginia in viewpoint of the using mammogram. And this is the box plots here, Virginia, Kansas. You can add a title here, right? The title here, you can put any title between this quotation mark comparing. You can copy from here, mammogram overall, or you can type it. I have already Virginia and Kansas. I don't need to change that to put in the topic. And this label is this one, right? Percent of mammogram. If I repeat, okay, see here, this Y label change, and this is Virginia, and this comparing percent of mammogram. And it could have better topic and percentage like this. And then for the density plot, you can run this. And if you look at the density plot, always, this is Virginia, right? More like, okay, this is not a Maryland, this is Kansas, right? This one here. And let's run again. Most of the time, at least less than here between this area, Virginia more likely to have, right? Most of the time in the top, more than 60%, the Virginia has higher. Let's look at the mean. Hopefully I'm correct here. Look at the means. Okay. Virginia has 63, right? And Kansas 61. So Virginia is higher. So you see the Virginia, the red line is most of the time not. If you go with less than maybe 55, 6, 7 maybe percentage, the Kansas more likely to have. After that, the Virginia. And if you go to this section, this part between probably 74 till 80, then Kansas more likely to have. But on average, overall, Virginia more likely to have more mammogram than Kansas. And this is an example for 2 states. Any questions so far for this section? If you like to ask your question, you need to unmute your computer. Okay. This is for Medicare national data by county. Now I'm going to, let me save this. I'm going to share with you later. Save as Medicare Virginia and Kansas. I'm going to share with you. Let me put in different folder and make sure you're going to share with you. UMUC LiveSession, where is that? Here we go. Okay. And this was the other topic, comparing enroll. It was mammogram. No, it was, what was the other topic? Okay, beneficiaries. Let me save also this. Save as the same here. Go to Dropbox UMUC LiveSession here. Okay, beneficiaries. I'm gonna share this too. Let's close this one. No, I'm looking at a different data set, imaging data set. To a student, I think a few students, let me, 1, 2, 3, 3 students try to use comparing the number of MRI and PETs and CT procedures. Okay, and one of you have decided to work between 2 states. I do not recommend that. Everybody that selected imaging data set, please stay with the entire data. Don't subtract the data for black and for different states. I'm specifically talking about the Carlin, if you are watching this video, make sure to just change your topic to entire data, comparing the number of MRI procedure and PET-CT. I believe you have my feedback, but in case you didn't look at that, stay with this. Okay, this is the Medicare national data by, this is the Medicare imaging procedures. We need to run this. I call this Minnesota data. You can call it anything else, but I call it Minnesota to make sure the computer, the RStudio are not using any other data sets. And then look at the Minnesota data and you have all the variables here. I'm going to change a variable here because in previous two data sets I never discussed about changing the name of variable. Here, for example, comparing the MRI and PET, what was a PET-CT? PET-CT is this variable, right? PET-CT, this is this variable. You can copy this variable from here and change it with this CT variable. Change it with CT variable, CT, MRI, PET-CT, and hopefully everything is okay. There is enough observation for this. And the same here. Now let's go and see the mean. I have, okay, this is the mean for PET-CT, this is for MRI, this is the standard deviation. Okay, let's look at the number of observation. Okay, fortunately there is enough observation, 52 compared to 299, and then look at the t-test. And you see the p-value is significant, 3.13 on power of e on power of 5, it's a very small number. It should be like something like this. 2, 3, 4. This is it. There is significant differences. And then you can have a box plot here. Okay, and then make sure to change this compare CT path, right? Should be something like this. Change this. And okay, if you look at this section, this is interesting point. There is outliers, you can see. The data set has a 2 big outliers. Here, I decided to remove the outliers and then look at the plots again. Look at this. Okay, it's much better now. You can see this. And then you need to look at the density plots. There's a long tail here, and there are still some kind of outliers, but it depends on the type of procedure, because always PET CT is a newer technology, and then it should be this. And more likely, most of the hospital prefer to use MRI. Okay, this is the example for MRI for the imaging data set. Any questions so far for this data sets? Okay, let me save this and share with you later in the class. You see live session here. And finally, the final example should be Minnesota data, right? A few students decided to work with a length of a stay between 2 states, for example, or between acute care and non-acute care aspect. You should use the Medicare Minnesota admission data, CSV file. And this is data set. If you look at the name of data, you will see these are all the variables you can use. And let me look at who is this file. Comparing average lengths of a stay between acute care and non-acute care. Okay, okay, non-acute care. Okay, perfect. I think all the students decided to work with this. So that's a very good example. Let me go with this. Okay, there is an outlier. Let me don't remove the outlier first, because I run this code before and I know there is an outlier in this data. For that reason, I excluded the outliers. So if you are working with this data, and if you have decided to work with RStudio, so make sure to follow these codes. First thing first, remove the outliers. You should figure that yourself, but so we are one step forward. So you have this because I already run this. And then you need to generate the 2 data set. If you go with this variable table data, this variable, this is the variable you need. That if you run this variable, you see this is the distribution of this variable. And you should filter your data for acute care by filtering if the answer is yes, this is the dummy variable, and generate a second set of data if the answer is no, and then go with the mean function, average length of a stay. This is the variable you need. The standard deviation function, you have this one, and you see the mean is 3 and 6. So for that reason, I remove all the data with. Alicia, if you're trying to talk to me, you are muted. I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. Do you want to talk again? Can you type?
I think she's saying she has laryngitis. Is that what you're saying, Alicia?
The interesting point is I never had it.
Because she was doing like this, so I'm not sure. Alicia, are you okay? Because it seems like she's motioning and her mouth is moving, but I can't hear her.
You are trying to read. Okay. Okay. I still cannot hear you.
Sorry, Alicia.
Alicia, do you like to type and post as a message? Or just go and come back again? Probably that works. Or just try to, because I see you are the only person asking a question. I'm sorry, I cannot hear you. Okay, here you go.
No question. Okay.
Okay, where is the question? So so for reading this, I have to find. I don't like to.
Dr. Zaresh, you wrote no question.
Oh, no question. Okay, so I didn't see that because I shared my screen. I can't see anything here. Okay, let me back here. You can follow this table to subset the data, and then this is a two data set you have. You have a mean function, a standard deviation function, and you have to get a grade for this exercise to assignment because I'm following everything you should say that, and then I expected to at least follow this video and see all the numbers, and this is my table comment. And to get the number of observations, 78, 66. So this is the parametric. There's enough observation. Whenever there's more than 30 observation, the good choice is a t-test. So then I run the t-test, and there's a significant differences here. The p-value is 0.00023, and this is significant difference here. And this is a box plot. So you see the box plot is here because I removed the outliers. And then look at okay, never mind about the name here. So because it's only read this section, so you don't need to worry about any other label. And then this is a density plot. That's it. This is density plots. This is entire. Okay, let me go back. This is, I'm also gonna share this. Let me save and save as to the class. Okay, live session. UMUC live session. Where is that? Okay, here you go. And then let me review one more time the individual assignment. I need to reshare my screen, I believe so. Stop sharing. Any questions so far before I go into the next step? No questions?
This is more along the lines of the group project. I'm trying to reach anyone from group 5. Is anyone group 5 on the line? Because we've been having some communication issues and I don't know what else to do.
Okay, I will explain about team project after this. Okay. For now, we are focusing on the individual assignment 2.
Okay.
And I like all of you focus on the individual assignment 2 for week 4, but be in contact with your team also. Did you receive and did you see the team agreements?
I did. I saw that, and I also we were discussing on the discussion page, and then some of us missed the email, and then some of us responded late, so it's kind of been hit and miss. So I don't know. But.
Okay, I will explain that. But so this is it was really late if no one reached out to you. So. But the point is, if someone has less than 50% contribution, she or he will not receive any grade for the.
That's what I don't want. Exactly.
And the team and the 20% of the grade worth to contribution, because whenever you have 5, every team has a 5 or 6 members, and it's much easier than the individual assignment 1 and 2. So.
I think someone put something in the chat. I'll read that down there.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'll share, and this is the example you have, right? This is the example in the class. You can follow this draft. Exactly the same. I'm gonna go review, I review some of your individual assignment 1. I'm gonna give you feedback. Please use my feedback to complete individual assignment 2. But the platform is the same platform. You don't need to do any literature review. Just to start with introduction, very short, not more than 2 paragraphs. The method section, go with hypothesis, and then describe your data sets. And then material method, go with the variable names and report the variables names here for who any of you that chosen to use the Minnesota data. This is already here, so you don't need to change this. Then go with the method section, analysis process. In the analysis process, if you work at RStudio, say I'm using RStudio, 1 or 2 line, discuss a package, and then go with the t-test and say why you use a t-test, and say something about this is the parametric test. There is a documented class to compare the t-test, and if you are working with RStudio, the RStudio follow the well sample t-test. If you are working with Excel also depends on the formula I just suggested. Use a 2-way sample t-test. If you have decided to work with that, you can go with this section. And okay, the results section should just discuss your findings, then compute a descriptive analysis, report the p-value, report your plots. If you have decided to work with Excel, you either report bar chart, or RStudio is not good for the, box plot. You can just switch any other plot, it's fine. In RStudio, you are not able to report the density plots in the Excel, so this is fine. But you cannot see the distribution of your data. And this is it. This is for individual assignment 1. Any question for individual assignment 1? No question. Okay. As I know, most of the students, Angela is not still longer in the line. Are you here, Angela? Are you here? No. Okay. I believe all of you using RStudio, correct? Okay. So if you are using RStudio, so I give you privilege to just, I will not talking about Excel, because if you use the Excel user, you are not here. So ask me a question by email, but I'm not going to discuss about Excel at this live session, and no one is here with Excel as a first package. Okay, Daniel is not here. Is it? Are you here, Daniel? No. Okay, so let me go with, you don't have any question in the visual assignment 2? No one? Okay. It was
I'm sorry,
yes.
I was trying to unmute and it didn't happen quick enough. I noticed when you ran the code earlier, and I'm getting the same thing, there was some red comments, or there was an arrow about density plot. How do we correct that, or does it matter?
You know, if you can see the density plot, and there's a, usually RStudio give you error, then okay, cannot find the type of the format of the file that RStudio needs to save the file. If you receive type of this message and error message, and you still can see the density plot, never mind about this. You ignore the message.
Okay.
But if you receive an error message and RStudio are not able to run a code, then that's the important message you need to consider, because up to 50 error, RStudio can work with up to, if there are less than 50 errors.
Okay.
Up to 49 errors keep going. After 51 errors, stop working. So whenever you receive an error, so RStudio face more than 50 errors, and you stop working. Otherwise, it's keep going. It's any type of minor error.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Okay, class. I'm going to review exercise 3.
I'm sorry, I have a question. I didn't unmute fast enough.
Okay, sure, Jen. Who was?
one was every time I would try and run the code, I kept getting just errors. And I know that it was, I followed the video and I copy and pasted how you said, like for beneficiaries, but it was still, it just wouldn't let me run the code. And that was my issue. And it was so frustrating. And I tried it a bunch of different ways. So I'm guessing the way you first showed it when we first logged on, that should give us the correct code.
Oh, you know, if in the first line you are stopping, there's two issues. The first issue is the read.csv is not correct, or the data set is not correct. Let me share my screen. So, if, you know, whenever you have a problem here, so let me share again. Okay, where is that? Share and look at the RStudio here. You know, either the data set, I'm using Medicare National Data CSV file. If you are trying to use the data from week 4 or week 6, you need to convert the data to the CSV file. Also, in the Excel file in the class, not a CSV file, there's a divider for more than 3 numbers. For example, 1000 has a 1,30. So that's real. Whenever you read that file in RStudio consider that as a string, as a name. So it can give you any errors. You cannot see anything like that. So you need to convert that to the CSV file or go and download the CSV file from the class.
Okay, so I need to make sure I'm using the right CSV file. Does it matter if we change line 1 or not, where it says comparing?
No. Everything that's here like this in the muted commands, it RStudio not running that.
Okay.
If you decide for any data set, first of all, need to run these 2 commands. Read the data set and look at the name of variable. You should see the name of variable here. If you are not able to see that, you are not reading the data sets. This is the point. Yep.
Okay, and then I know you said, so if I'm using Medicare National Data, for names, I'm able to do the parentheses and place MND in the inside of it, and that'll work just fine?
Yes, if you are, you know, here I call this data MND, Medicare National Data, right?
Yeah.
So this RStudio call this data MND here.
Okay.
And then you can run this and then see the names, open bracket, MND, close brackets, and you will see the name here.
Okay, and then my next...
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know there's a little delay with the computers. So I was using... my question was, I think it's percentage of Part A, Medicare beneficiaries. So would I use just the one that says number Part A, BENEF dot white dot black?
Okay, I'm looking at your topic, comparing average annual percent of diabetics, Medicare only age 67 to 75, having hemoglobin A1C, right? Between state 1 and state 2, correct?
No, that's not my topic. My topic was, it just said, no, mine was comparing Medicare beneficiaries, Part A, black and white. That was it.
Okay, you should use the same, this code. Medicare, the first code I just ran. Let me open this code.
Okay.
Okay, where is that? Let me open this from here. Recent file. A mammogram beneficiary. You should work with this. This is the code you need to work. I will share and make sure to download and use these codes.
Okay, and you'll share that after the live session today?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, because you should generate, because this data set does not have the percentage. If you go with the numbers, you're gonna see very huge lots of outliers, and you cannot run the codes correctly. For that reason, you need to normalize the data, and generating a ratio or percentage is type of normalizing the data. So basically, I'm adding 2 variables to the data, and then you should go with those codes and generate two variables. And your topic should be comparing the percentage of beneficiaries. So make sure when you're reporting when you're submitting your topic, so change that to the percentage in the title.
Okay, that was for my individual assignment 1. So
individual assignment 2, what's your, I have it. Is it Jen Lopez, right? Is it you, right, Greg?
Hold on 1 second, I have to go. Okay. Yes.
Okay. I have 2 Jen. Are you Jen Lopez, Greg?
Owens.
Oh, Owens. Okay, let me see. I have 2 Daniels, 2 Jens, so I'm just, okay, I make sure. Owens, where is your topic? Your topic is length of the stay between acute and non-acute care hospital.
Wait a minute. I don't remember.
Yeah, I just look at this after the class. For that topic, you should use the other codes, right? These codes. Look at the class and make sure you have correct. I'm looking at this.
Okay, I just want to, let me go back and look at me just a second. Okay. Let me. Give me 1 second, I'm looking at that.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm pulling it up now just to look.
Take your time.
Okay. Okay, for my individual assignment 2, I'm pulling it up now. Okay, my topic for 2 is comparing average length of stay between acute care and non-acute care hospitals. You're right.
Yes, this is the topic. You should use these codes.
Okay, and then those codes will be found in the...
No, I will post them.
I will
post all the codes, yes.
Okay, got it.
There is a master code. You should modify that, or I decided to give you all the codes you need, so you don't need to worry about the codes.
Okay, and then the CSV file?
The CSV file is already in the announcement page.
Perfect.
Or the class instructions.
Okay. Got it. So I think I see what my issue was with individual assignment number 1.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay, class, any other question?
Yes, I have a question on assignment number 3.
Okay, Felicia. Okay.
I kept getting 0 observations for the high, the mid, and the low, which in turn it made my T test fail, error, and I don't know how to fix that because I need the T test to do my description at the end.
Okay, let me share my screen. Are you seeing my RStudio class?
Yes.
Okay. And this is exercise 3, correct?
Correct.
You know, the point about exercise 3 is you should use the sync command and then copy everything on the sync. Or, okay, let me go with this. If you put everything on the sync, the code run perfectly and put everything on this. These are type of errors somebody asked me from here, so you can ignore this. This is fine, because as long as you can see here on the plots, RStudio already run the codes. Felicia, the point is, in some point, if you look at here, so RStudio used 2 times Herfindahl-index, 1 time group by, 1 time use it as a categorical variable, the other time use it as a factor variable. So if you run all the code together, you can see the observation here. So let me go back again. See these codes here. You see the observation here. See, high competitive markets, all the observations here. Low competitive markets and moderate competitive markets. But if you go further and change the code, if you like to go step by step, make sure to run the first 80 lines of the code.
Well, I just ran the entire code. I didn't even do the first.
This is the point. If you run entire codes, you can see everything in the sync command. This is fine. But if you have decided to go step by step, it's happening that because in some point, let's look at the Airfinder and I will show you where is the place. Here. In line 219, I changed the Herfindahl index to a factor variable. So if you decide after this point, if you have decided to generate the data set, then you will receive 0 observation. This is here. This is again, I think this is, if you try to do that, this is, okay, I see the point happening here because I see, okay. You can do this with 2 parts. First thing, okay, this is it. Okay, generate this. You can do something like this. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, it's too much change. I don't like to do this lot of change. Okay, do this here. Run your t-test first. Should be okay because you need to data set just for t-test, correct?
Correct. I have everything else. It's just the t-test is failing.
Okay, just run the t-test here. But is it using any other data or? Let me show you because a lot of students ask this question, and let me run and see what's happening here.
I want to make sure that I'm running everything correctly. So I don't understand. So first I was doing it by each task, 1, 2, 3. Then I did it by running the whole entire thing. Both times I got 0 observations.
Okay, if you tabulate this is what's happening in the code. What's happened? Let me run this table. In some point, let me type something here. Okay, this is working now. The sync command is open. I have to close the sync. Let me close this. I can see everything here. Something opened here. Sync, close, table. I cannot see that. Let me close this and open again. It's happening in RStudio sometimes. I have to close everything. Where's my RStudio here? Okay. Let me share my screen again. And this is, where's my RStudio? Share screen. Where is RStudio? Okay, here. Can you see my screen, RStudio?
Yes.
Okay. Exercise 3. Okay, here. Okay, my RStudio is not working. Do you have your RStudio? Can you share with me? And then I will explain that.
Give me a second.
Anyone else has RStudio? For any reason, my RStudio is not working now.
I can share my screen.
I can share.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and share.
Whomever.
I'm gonna stop sharing here. So you go and share your screen. My oh, here it's working. Sorry. So it's back. So it's back. So I can share again. So never mind. Okay, let me share. This is it here. Can I see this now?
Yes.
Let's mute this one.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. Library 259, right? It was here. T-test, where is that? Here. This is observation here. I can run them here. If you go together, you can run the t-test here. Do you have the same code? Okay, it's not running. This is the point.
So yeah, because your observation is at 0 down too.
I see. Table cost per cat. Should be this variable. You know, this variable changed to the factor variable. For now, if you want to generate 3 data set here, you have to go with this. The 0 is, there's a note in the class in this. What was LAN 283? There is a note that says 0 is for what? Okay, here 0 is for high, 1 moderate, 2 for low. Okay, 283. If you go to the 283 and change this 0 to high, it's the same exactly as in the console. High, 1 in the moderate, and 2 a low. Now, if you generate these codes, it worked for you now. This is observation. And this is the t-test. The problem, not the problem, the point is to run an ANOVA test, we need the Herfindahl index as a factor variable, but you run a t-test, we need a Herfindahl index as a, to subset the data, we need a Herfindahl index as a numeric variable, not a factor variable. So I did not, the other option is just to run this test before changing that to the factor variable here. In this point, I changed this to the factor variable in here. I think in some point I say change it to the factor variable here. Say this is a factor variable. If you run the t-test before this point, I believe you should have this t-test. Or is there Medicare National? Where is the, where there's a place we generated this data sets? If I go with this, fine. Okay, I generate here. You can copy the, okay, I have this t-test here in my computer. You can just run this code in the very beginning of the file. You could have here, let's go with this. very easy option, two options. The first option is just modify the code in line 283. Let's me back here. Some of this is spam. I'm trying. In line 200. Sorry, let me mute that one. Okay, sorry, class. Please, in line 286, change the code to the high, moderate, or low, or just copy this section of code to the earlier line here. Let's go copy this. That's before the place you generated this. I think this is this place here. You can copy in line 83 and run. It should work directly. Working. Oh, it's not working because we generated this variable at some other point here. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Do I have here? I have this. Okay. I have this. It should work here. What's the point? Okay. Arguments.
I'll just change it. Change it to low, moderate, and high.
Because, that's the best option because it's used the other option, the variable that we generated after this. In 283, do that and you will be fine.
Can you show us how you did that again? Because I just tried to do mine and I'm still getting an error. So I want to see.
In line 283, it was here. Here. Type in the console, type table, HOSP, $, HERF_cat, and enter it. I have to go to here, so otherwise you are not able to see exactly your computer. Okay, in line, whenever you run up to, select your code up to line 283, and then type this. Table, bracket, HOSP as a hospital, $, HERF cat. And you will see if your Herfindahl index is a category, is a factor variable, and then you need to change that. The code is 012, 012, change to high, moderate, low. And then you are able to run the codes. You can follow with me now if you have a computer ready. Okay. Who asked me?
Yeah, I'm trying to do it right now. I'm sorry.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
I'm trying to do it, see if it works. So I also have to change the 0, 1, and 2 to high, moderate, and low.
First type this table HOSP. Do you want to share your screen, show the students? Just said
sure.
Twice. Yeah, that's better idea. Stop sharing. Okay, run this one. Okay,
so I have to write. You said HO table.
You can. No, it's not running because you have a non-finished codes. In the console, type some number, for example, type test, something like this. Any name.
Down here?
Yes. Type anything and just close. No worries, just enter it.
Okay.
You are still not, your code is still, you open the code and it didn't close it. And okay, use, can you put a bigger sign and enter?
Put a what kind of sign, sir?
Bigger, smaller and bigger, and it should be,
oh.
Yeah.
This?
This is a smaller. Press this to see what's going on. Press. Okay, put a bigger sign only. Dash bigger.
Dash bigger.
Enter it.
Like,
that's it. Oh, it's not working. Go back to the beginning of it for what's going on here, but why you are not able to do that.
Do I have to change these like you have them high, moderate, and low?
Not yet. And go to the very start of the code. Can you, okay, also don't run the sync command. Start from line 9.
Okay, from here?
And yes, and just 3 lines. I like to make sure you have everything you can see. Just this, yeah, just 2 lines.
Hit run.
Okay, now go back and just run line 13. Okay, now select from 15 to 282.
15. $282, 79, 79, 78. Okay, go up, 2 more line here, just here. Run this. Okay, now type in the console, type table. Yeah, you can't deselect the code, otherwise, okay, okay, open bracket, HOSP dollar HERF underscore cat. Yeah, the first one. Enter this one. Okay, sure. Now go back to 281, 282, and 283 and change them. And change them. Oh, to high, low? Yes. High, moderate, and low?
Now run 281 till 290.
290?
Okay, you have the result for t-test now.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Sure.
I'll stop sharing.
Okay, class, any other question? No questions? Okay, this is the first time I'm just finishing the meeting sooner than 6:30. Okay, class, thank you very much for being on the Zoom today.
Before we go to the group project,
Oh, thank you for reminding that. That's important.
Is anyone on here from group 5? I don't know. Lisa, turn that down, please.
Okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna send an email, a reminder email for all team members. And please reply to my email.
Okay.
And then on that email, so I expect all the team members, I will say something on that email address. I will remind some kind of important points. I will also attach the team agreement.
Okay.
And then please reply to my email. If no one answer by Tuesday, so you can, so this is the point. For each team project, I expected that someone be the leader of the team. If someone did not accept, did not reply by Tuesday, you can assign him or her to any task.
Okay.
And he or she should follow the task because she had a choice to select and didn't select anything.
I don't believe anyone is on here with my group, from my group.
Okay, so you be the team leader for that project and follow that. Yes, you are here.
I think that's a mistake.
Why mistake?
I'm not knowledgeable enough in RStudio. I mean, I can try, but I don't.
You know, the team leader is organizing the team. So for the team project, someone need to work with RStudio, someone work with the Revman, someone do a literature review, someone edit the paper, someone just organize the team and do kind of a table for the bias. Because there's a project, you need to go with follow five tables, 5 papers, summarizing the papers, generating a bias table, run the regression, run the
It's a lot
analysis.
of work. It's a lot of work.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
report the bias plot. That's I will hold a live session end of week 5 to discuss how to work with RevMan. So at least one or two person should work on the analysis. All the members should work on the literature review, each member one paper at least. One or two members can work on the RevMan to generate a populated tables or just a bias table. And someone should just edit everything and just set them to be ready for publication, for submitting. I mean, say the publication, I'm working on several papers, so I was following this. And then I think you should be a team leader and follow things. Everything's going to be okay. Yeah. You are here, so.
I'll look for the email.
You are not volunteer for that job?
I'm afraid to commit.
Okay.
I'll look for the email. I'll see who responds, and then we'll go from there. How's that? Is that okay?
That's okay, but yeah. So it's a voluntary job, but so whenever you are not interested, you are the main person here now. So go with us.
I'll see. I don't know. I'll see.
This is other decision I will make in the class. If there is no team leader for any project, for any teams, I'm gonna assign someone as the team leader. So this is other.
And I have a quick question, Professor. Someone, I guess the team leader submitted our topic, and that's okay that they submitted it for everyone, or were we supposed to submit it individually as well?
Just one submission is enough.
Okay, perfect.
I'm sorry, I have to go backwards because I lost my call because my child came up and pushed the button on my phone. Back to exercise 3, I'm sorry. So I did exactly what you said, and I ran sections 1 through 15. I got an observation.
Okay.
Then when I changed the 0 to high and 1 to moderate, and then ran it from 15 on, it went back to 0. So, and I still couldn't get the t-test.
Okay, so did you share your screen or someone else shared their screen?
Someone else shared their screen.
Do you want to share your screen?
Okay.
Can you share your screen and let me know what the problem is? Because I remember you sent me the no Deepler package, so probably you're working with a different, so I need to look at that. So.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Okay, so can you go up and run anything before line 283? Are you, okay, well, let's see. Okay, this is a Deepler package. Can you go up and then 0 observation? I see the points. Can you go up and then select everything? Don't select the sync comment and then select from line 9 only, from line 9, please. Yes. After
down
sync.
To here?
No, don't select the sync comment.
Okay.
Select after sync. Go to line 283. Scroll down to 83. Maybe 279. Go up 281, please. Here. No run this. I see the problem, but I like to notice for other class member. Are you sure you didn't select the sync comment?
I'm sure.
Okay, click on the panel in the console panel and close the sync because your code still has a sync.
You want me to clear it?
No, don't clear here. And go to the very end of the console panel and type sync, open parenthesis, yeah, type here after table. Type, no, not here. You remove,
down here?
Yes. Open and close parenthesis, enter.
Like that?
So go back to your codes. I believe you remove everything. Press Ctrl Z to have this. Ctrl Z because you remove all the codes.
Oh.
Yeah. Press Ctrl Z.
I got it.
Okay, so you should put you in line 283. You should put high in the quotation mark. Run this one more time. Yes, please run this. You should be able to see some number. For any reason, you are not see any numbers here. So I think at some point the sync is open. Can you go to the very first?
Go to where now? I'm sorry.
Go to the very first line. Unless you don't have a sync comment here. Scroll down to line 283, please. I see you have an observation here, 283. Okay.
Yeah, I changed it to high, moderate, and low.
Can you mute 283, 84, 85? Mute those codes. Mute them. Okay, the same. Because you have observation, you can see. And mute the second one and just run to 87.
Down.
No, not that. Okay, just because you was worried about the t-test. I'd like to see
the reason. Okay.
Yes, I'd like to see the reason. So run this. You cannot see that's anything. Okay, but you have everything here. Okay, I see the point. Go back to 283, 284, 285.
Okay.
Unmute them again. Unmute them. And you should type high with a capital H, moderate with a capital M, low with capital, and you should put them on the quotation mark.
They should be in quotation mark, like this?
Yes.
Okay.
Moderate with capital M. Okay. Capital L. Now run to 83 till to 85. And then run to 87 to 292. Yeah, this is fine. For some, can you save your codes first, and then let's go and see what the problem with 205. You can click on save. Okay, can you go up? In some point, your sync comment is open. I don't know where. Can you go up? Go to the very beginning of the file. Okay. Can you mute the sync comment? Mute this one, and please run line 16, line 13 and 16.
13 and 16.
Run line 13 and 16 here. Yeah, it still is open. So you should close RStudio and open it again. Do you have any other codes in here? You need to save that, but your code for sure.
I don't know. I mean, I'll try it again, and
yeah,
it ran so I can find it. It should be in my notepad at least. It didn't give me an error, so that's a plus.
I believe it will work for sure, but because it's happened to my computer. Sometimes you need to reset your RStudio and back again. So for some,
no problem.
Your RStudio stick with sync command didn't close any point.
I'm going to say that it probably worked because I didn't get a bright red error. So I'll go with that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, class. Please stop sharing so I can close the event. Okay, thank you. Let me share my screen, and then it's gonna be a screen. No. Okay, here you go. Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you everyone for being here, and have a good day.
Have a good night. Thanks.
Same to you. I will
Thank you, Professor.
Good night. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.